My role was project manager, and I really enjoyed this role because it was really nice to see all of us coming together as a group. And our project from the beginning was always our group ideas all together. So the finished project is everything that we came up with together. It's not just one person's idea here, the others. We all thought of it, so where everything went, what the design was, what the text was. We did research all together. So it's lovely to see that we all agreed on everything, and it's a really good project at the end of it all.
My role in the team was printing coordinator. It was pretty challenging at times. I didn't really understand how to use some of the technology, but I learned fast, I hope. And I got to grips with Illustrator and Photoshop, and hopefully our print will look great.
So my role on Team Maple is the budget manager. I am in charge of making sure that we stick to our £150 budget, as well as to reimburse anybody who spends any money on our exhibition. I really like this job. It's a lot of fun. I get to be like, no, we don't have enough money for that. Things like that. So it's really fun.
Well, my role in the team was essentially to be our point of contact with our external expert, whose name was Elizabeth. She was in charge of the collections at the cathedral and was kind enough to lend us the bowl for the exhibition, and it's really nice of her to help us out, because I know she's been really busy, so it's been great of her to give up her time for us. I think this role has suited me really well. It's been fun communicating with her and helping our team get all the information that we need.
Okay, so the must-see in our exhibition, I would definitely say, would be the picture of Frida's grave. Mainly just because I'm the one that found all the information about it at the Leicester Community Records place or whatever. And so I'm so proud that we actually found her grave and we got a great picture of it. And so I would definitely say that is the must-see.
The must-see in our display case is definitely the box in front of our case, which is filled with cans and bottles and boxes which will have labels on. So it's really worth stopping and reading all of those, because it adds an extra dimension to the exhibit and hopefully will make you really think as well.
The must-see in our exhibition, I would say, is not inside the glass but outside of it, because we put some objects, the tin cans and the paper box, outside our glass for people to discover. People can find many information about food banks of the labels we put on the tin cans. I think it's the most interesting part of our exhibition.
For me, I think what I learned in the exhibition might be the researching skills, because it's really different from what I learned in China. In the beginning, the only information we got is just the golden balls, and then through the newspapers, internet, and other methods, we finally got the clues of the story, and then we try to get the whole story behind it. I think it's really helpful and challenging for me to do this research.
I've learned the importance of working in a team, of listening to everyone's points of views, how to work to a budget, and a small budget at that, and how great it feels when everything comes together and people work as a team.
I've learned a lot from this exhibition, but I think my one big takeaway is just how much work goes into such a small exhibition. I can't begin to imagine how stressful an experience planning a whole exhibition for a museum is, when how much has gone into just our little case. It's amazing, and I really look forward to working in museums in the future and getting the opportunity to be involved in that process some more.
And the work that I found found most interesting was the research. I thought it was really, really good how we needed to find out who Canon Sanders was, who his daughter was, how she died. And we went about this. First of all, we went to our library and found all the information we could about Leicester Cathedral. And we, obviously, because he was the Reverend, there was quite a bit of information about the Reverend, nothing about his daughter. So then we went to the local archives office, which was really good because they gave us the Parish magazine that the Canon Sanders had actually written. And then within that we found his actual words saying how much he was thankful for the cathedral community for donating the bowl. So that really showed a lot of emotion. It was quite important. One unfortunate thing, there wasn't anything in the newspapers. That could have been really nice to see, maybe a article about how Frida died maybe, but then when we found the death certificate that said she died from scarlet fever, we realised that it wasn't really a shocking death enough to be published in a newspaper. We also visited her grave, found that she was buried by herself, because then we realised she had died from scarlet fever and then the family had moved on to Rothley. So yeah, it was really, really interesting researching the whole family. We feel kind of like we know the people now. I know it sounds silly, but she's buried in Welford Road Cemetery. Now every time we walk past that we're reminded of Frida. And yeah, it's just been lovely to do some social history as well, which we hadn't really done before.
I think the most interesting part of our exhibition might be the blog we create, because we put all the information we find on the blog, and the audience can leave the comment of their opinions on the blog. So it's really is a very interactive exhibition for them, and they can find as more as information as they like.
What I found most interesting is the researching the idea behind the bowl and what the guild was about and what Frida died of, because it took us a while to actually find out, so it felt a bit like a hunt for the information as we researched and waited for the death cert and got in contact with lots of different people like the cathedral and went out to Windsor Records office. So I found that most enjoyable, researching all the different aspects of the exhibition and now seeing it all come to play in the project.
Okay, so there are several aspects of this exhibition project that are challenging. I would say one is working in a large group. We all have different voices and opinions that we want presented, so sometimes it's challenging to make sure we compromise and everybody's voice gets heard. Another challenge is sticking to the budget, of course. We all have grand ideas that we want to see presented, but sometimes we have to be really realistic and say, no, unfortunately we can't afford that. And I'd say the third most challenging thing would probably be, was probably when we were trying to come up with our story for what we wanted to present to the audience of the exhibition. I'd say I really do like the story we came up with of that the Leicester community cares, and Love Thy Neighbor as the title of the exhibition.
The most challenging work in this exhibition is not about doing the exhibition, but about the discussion in our group. Because as a native speaker, I have to listen very carefully and to think about my response during the discussion. But thankfully, our team members are very kind and passionate to respect my opinions.
The most challenging aspect of the project was probably the digital side of things, trying to make sure that all of our text panels were in the right PDF file and the right size that needed to get sent off to print. We're also having a stained glass window on the side, and when we tried to get it to send to print, the file was too big, so we needed to edit that and get it down, but the computer kept crashing. So there's lots of little things to think about that you need to schedule time in for. Luckily we were already ahead of time for printing, but if we hadn't been, it would have been a lot more stressful. So I think that's quite an important piece of advice to give to everybody, is make sure that you leave enough time before you're sending everything off to print.
I just want to say I really enjoyed working on the project, and I hope the rest of the team have. I hope visitors enjoy seeing our case, and it inspires some questions, and that they're able to draw some of the conclusions we drew from our case, especially with the interpretive bit at the bottom in terms of reading the information. I hope that all is clear and adds to the visitor's experience.
What I want to say to my team members, it's been a pleasure working with you all. I've had a great few weeks, and I wish it were longer. We had more time and more budget and create the best exhibition in the world. And to the visitors, I hope you really enjoy what we put on and find our stories interesting as we found investigating it.
Firstly, I have to say thank you to all of our team members, because they are really kind and friendly to me. And I think in our group, we really create a very nice atmosphere for all members to work together. For me, I think I have a really enjoyable time during our work.